Yeah, final score there: Cheetahs versus Griquas. After full time, got Cheetahs 30, Griquas 20. Perhaps a game of two halves. All right. So first half, we had the Cheetahs run out clear favorites. I think they led 23. 23 must have been 23. 23-13, I think it was, or 23, might have been 23-8 going into halftime. But whatever the case was, Cheetahs definitely dominated that first half. Sort of slow start from both teams feeling each other. All right, always felt that the Cheetahs had the dominance up front. All right, but the Griquas were in it in the sort of the first 10 minutes. But from there on, we saw that the Cheetahs dominated the collision point. They dominated that set piece as well. And the script was never seemed to get going. And as a result, Clayton Bromwich came into his own. Franz Steyn came into his own. And as a result, the Cheetahs were able to cross over the line a couple of times and ensure that they took a very comfortable lead. Right, but a rather disappointing second half. And I think you sort of could expect that with fatigue setting in and the fact that, it is the first game of the season. The guys haven't had too many opportunities to get out there and actually, play as a unit. Obviously, practice is one thing, and being on the field and actually doing it in a competitive environment is entirely another. But we definitely saw in the second half that the Grek was definitely the forward pack at least came out guns blazing. They looked more assured, just more resolute, right? And as a result, the Cheetahs just never seemed to get going. The Griquas, I think, had majority of the position, right? They were able to put the Cheetahs under sufficient pressure, and as a result, I think they definitely dominated the second half. I think actually it might have been 14-7 to them in the second half. So definitely a lot of encouraging signs for them, considering that they grew as the game carried on. And I think that you sort of expected that, considering how many debutants they have at Currie Cup level, but also a lot of debutants. Obviously, a couple of guys changing franchises, Luther Irby making his debut, guys sort of like that who played Currie Cup before, but obviously sort of making their debut for the Griquas. So a lot to be positive about for the Griquas. And I think for the Cheetahs is just going back to the drawing board, just settling on sort of what happened. I felt that both teams at times are just trying to force it a bit too much. And then maybe it's just the excitement of the first game that's Zubrians. And no team quite settled and, set out to put together one, like, more than sort of 7 phases. It all felt a bit rash, a bit too impatient. After 3 phases, they'll look for a kick. So I think as the tournament progresses, both teams will look to just, go back to the default setting. Yes, we want to see the enterprising rugby. We want to see the offloads and the tackle. We want to see the continuity. But I think you need to earn the right. And unfortunately, both sides, I don't think, earned the right to play in that manner. But they sort of were trying. And I think, yeah, good intent. All right. But the execution just a bit poor. But I think definitely Cheetahs coming out today as the deserved winners. All right. I think they were dominant from the first go until the last whistle. Yes, they tailored off, but I think generally speaking, they played reasonably well as a unit. It's difficult to sort of pinpoint a player in such a game when it starts a lot of offloads, but I think Clayton Bromwich is once again showing his class. Right, he was solid at the back, very good kicking game once again, and also I think Franz Steyn. It just seems I think after end of the year tour, though, the one game that he played, he just seems like to have reinvigorated him, and he's just all over the place, looking young. But also in the forwards, I think Michele Mosi had a commendable game. All right, and also in the Greek was a couple of guys who stood out. I think Sibal Komam had an impressive game, sort of in the 7 jumper. Zito was also very good in the tight. Yeah, so I think a couple of things to work on. Also, yeah, Ashwan at the back for the Griquas, I think, covered the space as well, did well, but unfortunately ended up in the wrong team. So, yeah, all in all, I think an all right game, but stop-start, but sort of what you expect sort of for the first game of the season. But yeah, definitely Cheetahs far superior pack, more experience in the team, more settled as a unit, as a squad. So coming out there as deserved winner, 30-22 over the Griquas. This is Ulukanya Chongweni and India Bulela Umbingo Polo Senzo Mdumdwana.